Hello, everyone, and welcome to the newest episode of the Why Am I Here podcast. I'm your host, Sani. Welcome. If you're just now arriving to the way of the why, glad to have you. Returning members, hello. It's been about 2 weeks. I actually had my birthday last week, so yeah. Why am I here today? I'm here today because of time. That's what happens when you get older. You got nothing but time. That's all you got to beat. And you can't. Time. Timing. It's all about timing. How's everyone doing today? Glad to be back. I had a pretty awesome birthday, honestly. I got food with friends, got this Japanese barbecue that was chef's kiss, fantastic. So much food. Then went out later and hung out with the gang. It's pretty awesome. That was last Friday. That's why I couldn't put out the pod. Had to be a little selfish for once. Sometimes you gotta be selfish. It is what it is. As long as you're not hurting people, be as selfish as you want to be. Unlike Ezra Miller, going into the first topic. This is an interesting story that has been developing over the course of a while now. Ezra Miller has been in the spotlight, and not in a good way. No siree. Yeah, Ezra Miller. They're out looking for him, and the WB Discovery, since the merger, along with cutting shows, they laid down an ultimatum to our boy Ezra Miller, aka the Flash. For one, they asked Ezra to give an interview explaining what the fuck's been going on and doing limited press for the Flash, because boy is he a headline maker, and not for the good way. It's for the way of choking out his fans and being an absolute dickhead to everyone. At least that's what it seems. Ezra Miller plays no part in film promotion. Two, or they scrap the project completely, which I don't think it will come to, especially since recently Ezra Miller came out saying that he would seek help for his erratic uh erratic behavior, which is good on him. He really needs it. Absolutely needs it because he's been on quite the tear. House full of guns and a child and children that aren't his. I just realized I said a child and children. One and the same, but you catch my drift. But our boy Ezra still dominating headlines for not so good stuff. But we'll see if the Flash film comes out. I'm on firm belief that even though Warner Brothers Discovery is cutting a lot of projects off of their streaming services for tax benefits, I don't think they're gonna cut the Flash, even with the bad press going into the film. So we'll just have to wait and see how that turns out. Really, we won't know until it comes out. It could be good, but are you gonna support a film with Ezra Miller in it? I don't know. It's really hard to tell at this point. It really is. But outside of HBO and HBO Max, WB Discovery, Disney is overtaking Netflix subscriptions, which is impressive to say the least. Netflix has been in the game for quite a long time now, the streaming verse, and I guess it goes to show that more money wins, and Disney has more money than God, so they're gonna keep winning for sure. It's interesting to see how it goes with HBO Max, especially how I mentioned previously about the recent shakeups due to the Warner Brothers Discovery merger. But like all things, we'll have to wait and see until they happen. We we don't have all the facts, but we do have the numbers to prove it. That streaming's low key dying off, especially with theaters opening up, and still theaters are kind of dying right now. I can't wait to watch the new HBO House of Dragons series. That'll be interesting to see how that goes because it's going back to you got to be there television. It's outside of the binging model, which we haven't really had anything. I guess Disney Plus has that with their Marvel shows, but a lot of people watch Marvel shows, but I feel like back when Game of Thrones was coming out, everyone was everyone was in front of their TVs Sunday nights watching the story of Westeros go down. Like every time there's an episode, I was waiting, ready at 9 on Sunday. So I'm happy to see where streaming goes. I'm very interested, especially since I'm pretty anti cable myself. I'm not really a cable TV watcher, especially since anything that premieres on the HBO uh channel just goes up on HBO Max. So don't really have to be bothered with cable television anymore, thank God. And I hope you don't have to either. On to some recent films that I've delved into, recently watched. Zombieland Double Tap. This is an older film, I guess. It's not a new release or anything. This is a film that I actually have not seen. I really enjoyed the first Zombieland. I thought Zombieland Double Tap was an alright sequel to a fabulous zombie comedy film. That was a little difficult to roll off the tongue. Zombie comedy film. It was good. I enjoy Woody Harrelson in pretty much anything. Honestly, I even enjoyed him in that terrible Venom. Here Comes Carnage or whatever it's called. Venom 2. I did not like Venom 2. But Zombieland was alright. I felt like it wasn't a needed sequel, and I believe it came out like 4 years after the original. So the that steam that the Zombieland, the OG Zombieland, picked up, that popularity kind of diminished. So it was a little lackluster. The production was pretty much the same, even bigger. They added more cast, more characters that weren't really not necessarily a great addition. The core cast was the firmest throughout. They really nailed their characters down. I think I gave it like three out of five. It was good. I enjoyed it. It's definitely a late night film you want to just throw on. You might fall asleep to it, but that's okay. You do this every night. It don't matter. Another film I saw. These are films in theaters now that I've seen. Bodies, 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 the latest A24 horror comedy with Skeet Davidson, R.I.P. Skeet. Can't believe she did that to you, bro. That's awful. But I digress. Bodies was interesting. It was actually right on par on what I expected it to be, but a lot more funnier than I expected it. The comedic timing was really good because they're these characters are dealing with a very stressful situation of their friends being killed off one by one. It kind of leads into a climax which may turn people off the conclusion is not your run of the mill slasher film conclusion, I will say, which I kind of like how they subverted expectations for a laugh at the end, kind of. But definitely check out Bodies. It's worth a watch. I feel like it's this one of the best horror comedies of the past 10 years, I would say. It's really good. And it's hard to pull off horror comedy. I say horror loosely because it's Bodies is not like a scary film. There's blood and guts and like murder, but it's not horror. Maybe a little frightening for children, I would say. But I thought it was hilarious. I enjoyed it, even though I gave it 3.5 ish, 3.5 out of 5 stars. I believe I still enjoyed it thoroughly. One I did not necessarily enjoy, but I appreciate it for what it was Emily the Criminal, the Aubrey Plaza leading film about Emily, who is a artist working hard trying to pay off her student loans. I mean, we've seen this before. People are living it now, so it's very direct to home themes, especially on debt and what it feels like to be in debt. And it's your classic Breaking Bad tale. It's a little similar to Breaking Bad. I mean, she's not cooking up meth. She's just running scams. She's just a scammer. But you got to do what you got to do in tough times. I thought Aubrey Plaza's performance was good at times and lackluster at others. Like she delivered lines pretty well, but Aubrey Plaza has that resting bitch face. I feel bad saying this. That face that's just like it just sits there, you know? She doesn't really have much facial range acting wise, but I think she did a good job. All in all, it's an alright film. You can see it if you want. If you're into like Breaking Bad type tales of good people going to do criminal shit, criminonics. Made that up. I'm not proud of it. Criminonics. Love that. Well, yesterday I went and saw Beast with Idris Elba. There was only one reason I went to see this movie. It's because in the trailer for Beast, you get to see in like one of the last frames of the trailer, Idris Elba punching a lion in the face. And I thought to myself, this has to be this can't be a serious film. It kind of was at times. Definitely, I thought the camera work in Beast was stellar. Beast had an insane amount of tracking shots. And for those who don't know what that is, it's just one shot, one shot takes that were littered throughout the film, and they were used very well to show what it's like to be claustrophobic in a jungle almost. They were very claustrophobic shots in an otherwise open landscape, which was really well done. It showed a lot of good perspective from the human standpoint. The lion was straight killing shit. It was interesting how they tried to like tie it into to how poachers hunt animals, and this lion was basically only killing people. It wasn't like eating them or anything like that, because it knew what its real enemy was. It was people for killing the lion's entire pride. It was good. Charlton Copley was in it as well. He's fantastic character actor in my opinion, one of the best. He played a great role as the uncle. And if you've been here, you know my feelings on child actors. I don't really like most of child acting performances. Like they really have to be good. The kids in this film were all right. They got the job done. It was interesting to see Idris play off of that, being a father post divorce and mother's death to cancer. So they're dealing with some heavy themes. They may have missed the mark uh in the writing of the film, but I thought the dialogue and the banter between characters was on point for sure. I believe Beast was a solid 3 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I can't believe this man fought a lion and won. He fought a lion with his bare hands, and like this, the setup for the. I'm sorry if I'm getting into spoilers, but the setup for like how they shot that was was like some WWE type shit. Like the way he turned around and they just started fighting. I'm not even kidding. Like this sounds absurd what I'm saying, but it's actual factuals on some television. Oh my god, that movie! I unironically love Beast. It was solid. It was actually solid. I'm saying it. It was solid. Solid 3 out of 5. It's like a perfect theater movie too. I don't know how well that film will play on like a TV, like a home theater system, but definitely worth going to the theater to see, I will say. On some television, Vince Gillian, the creator of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, is working on a new series outside of that, outside of the Breaking Bad universe. Thank God. No, I've never seen Better Call Saul. Yes, I've seen Breaking Bad, except for the last season. Breaking Bad just wasn't doing it for me anymore. Like it's an alright show. I get the hype behind it. I do like some of the characters, but I don't know. Those type of shows bore me a little bit. Kind of like Emily the Criminal. I feel the same way about Emily the Criminal as I do like those properties. But Vince Gillian's new series that he's working on is more similar to the Twilight Zone, which would be interesting. I'm excited to see it. Excited to check it out. That's like right up my alley. I'm a science fiction, sci-fi, fantasy nerd, so that gets my rocks off really well, I will say. We got updates on the latest Rick and Morty season, which should be coming out this fall. Uh, huge Rick and Morty fan here. Love the show. I love Dan Harmon as a story creator. He's very very good in my opinion. If you haven't checked out Community, another Dan Harmon creation, I would totally go check that out. It's hilarious. One of the funniest shows ever. One of the best well written comedy shows ever as well. And I'm hyped for Rick and Morty to be back. I'm excited what nutty adventures they're going to get into, find themselves in, and how they're gonna dig themselves out of whatever hole they may find themselves in, like they always do. Man, Rick and Morty has been good. I will say Rick and Morty has been good throughout the 5 seasons that it's been out. It does have some miss episodes, which I mean, every series has its misses, but Rick and Morty has a lot more hits than misses, I gotta say. So be on the lookout for season 6 of Rick and Morty, because I will definitely be talking about it on the podcast. On to some shows that I've seen. Really, one that really, really shined. I will talk about She-Hulk after, but The Sandman. I have actually acquired the audiobook to The Sandman years ago. Had to have been 2 or 3 years ago. Listened to it, and I was blown away by the storytelling of Neil Gaiman. Neil Gaiman is definitely one of my favorite storytellers, because he makes such grand concepts. He's definitely a concept guy, and I love the way he writes his dialogue and the way the Sandman flows. That's as the novel I'm saying, or well, graphic novel, the one that was audioized. Created another word there. We love that. But the show was I thought the show was spot on TV adaptation for the property, honestly. They made a few changes, a few gender swaps, which I don't mind. But I think it told a more concise story than the audiobook did, because the audiobook kind of it told the same story. It started off where Dream gets like captured and is held for 100 years, and then him searching for his tools that were stolen when he got captured initially. Initially. It was good. It was great. The casting was good. The Jenna Coleman casting for Joanna Constantine was an interesting one. At first, I just didn't get why they couldn't use the guy that's been playing Constantine for the DC universe for the past like 10 years. But I also understand how they want to sort of separate this from other DC properties, because it is such a sprawling story told over centuries. And it was excellent. I loved the fight with Dream and Lucifer. Tom Sturridge's performance as Morpheus, the King of Dreams, is spot on, honestly. Perfect casting for him. Gwendolyn Christie as Lucifer was also a real good casting. I'm excited to see where the show goes. And their casting for Desire was also excellent. Turned me gay. Who knew? I like everyone now. I love people. Thanks to Desire. If you have not checked out The Sandman on Netflix, go check it out. It's worth the watch. They even added a new episode recently. Who knew? It was a bonus episode that they, I guess, weren't gonna show, but it kind of got leaked, so they released it anyway. It's Dream of a Thousand Cats and Calliope, which are two stories that were in the Sandman audiobook as well, that were a little outside of Morpheus's like main tale. So they didn't really need to be in the season, and they didn't really need to even do it, but honestly, the Calliope story was extremely well done. Extremely well done. And I think I'm just looking forward to what's to come. I just hope I pray it gets a second season. Who knows these days with streaming services canceling literally whatever nowadays. So you don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited about the future of the Sandman though. It seems to have garnered its criticisms, which what property wouldn't? But it's leaning more on the positive side, which I do like, because the Sandman is not really a story for everyone. You kind of have to let go of some of your pre predisposed context of life and expand your horizons to the endless and the idea of endless concepts and how they govern our being and how they rule over us. Go check out Sandman. I'd say on a whole, the series is solid 9. I really like the series. I watched it like all on the weekend, binged it, loved it. Go check it out, Sandman. And recently, She Hulk came out. This is a Marvel show that I was extremely skeptical of, a little more so than Miss Marvel, honestly. I didn't know how they were gonna do the whole legal drama legal drama sitcom vibe, but lo and behold, they pulled it off. I enjoyed She-Hulk. I enjoyed the first episode of She-Hulk, and I recommend other people check it out as well. It's a hilarious show. Some of the jokes in She-Hulk are like very it's situational humor for the most part, but it plays up to our all our plays up to our ideas of what it would be like to just be turned into a superhero even though you didn't want it, which they do that in literally every superhero property, but this does it a little different because she already understands like the life of a superhero and how you get pulled away from what your life was before. You just lose everything and have to work for the shadow government pretty much. And Tatiana Maslany is killing the role of She-Hulk. She won me over. I also like that they break the fourth wall a little bit in this show. It adds to the humor, and I'm excited what's to come. Go check out She-Hulk if you have not watched it. I do recommend it. On the first episode, I think it was like a solid 3.5, solid 70%. It was good, very funny. I thought Bruce Banner, Hulk, Smart Hulk, was definitely a key part in some of the comedy. So we'll have to see as the story goes on. But I'm excited to see where it goes, and I will be definitely tuning in next week for the next episode of She-Hulk. But that does it for me. Thank you for listening, everyone. If you don't know where to find me, you can find me on Twitter. Why am I here? Pod. On TikTok. Yes, I'm on TikTok now. Getting those reactions, raw reactions right after watching something, putting out videos. Even on YouTube, Why I'm Here podcast. Check out the channel, subscribe, like. I've just been posting shorts there. Maybe I'll start posting the VOD of the pod on there, just to spruce up the channel a little bit, give it a little more direction. But, like all good things, it comes in time, like I said at the beginning of the podcast. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a wonderful day, night, or evening, whatever time may be. Goodbye.